everything will work. I don't know. We've got technical difficulties today. I already had something freeze. We got a little delay. Audio's funky. Sarah's here. How are you doing?
Oh, hey. I'm taller than you, too. You
Oh,
zoomed in
what?
and out.
We gotta fix that. No, we're fixing that.
No.
Oh, shoot.
No.
There we go.
Oh,
That's
come
much better.
on.
Much better. So, how is
Rude.
everybody in the chat doing? Good to see you. I see a lot of familiar faces. Pangea, Jose's in here, Mike Jant, Snai City. There's a lot of people who are here who are regular, so it's good to see you guys. Now, tonight we wanted to talk about Galactic Bound, some of the community events coming up, address some Starcruiser stuff. Where do you want to start?
I love talking about Starcruiser. Let's talk about Starcruiser.
No, you?
What? Shocking. Don't look at my shirt. Yeah,
It's like
so
the
I
only good shirt.
think... Don't say that. There's two.
Okay.
I don't know that you've like officially addressed this. Maybe on your live streams, but Starcruiser's closing. I don't think you ever did.
Oh yeah, I've addressed it a couple times, but I still get people every time, even last night, who are like, "Wait, it's officially closing?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's been a month, my friend.
sorry.
Over a month now that we've known about it." So I've addressed it a few times.
So it's so it's closing. It's closing the end of September, and you and I have just been very obsessed with Starcruiser ever since we really started getting like real information about it, which was back in like August of 2021.
Yeah, that's the only reason we're
And
friends.
literally the only reason. And now that it's coming to an end,
It's over. See you later.
it's over. Bye. Just gonna slink off. No, but now that it's coming to an end, like we've been obsessed with it, and Starcruiser is absolutely amazing. Like I think we're both just gutted about it closing, but one of the great things that's come out of Starcruiser is the community that has been built around this experience, and like-minded people that really loved Starcruiser, Star Wars, and just getting together with people that were really into this experience and really played how it was supposed to be played. And so we didn't want that to go away. And so we've been working for I guess a month now.
Yeah.
It's been a little over a month since the closure announcement, on ways to keep the community together. And then, of course, as we've been working on this, with the rest of the sailings selling out. Oh, a little echo on my side.
No, it's my fault. It's because the audio's coming
You.
through. Yeah, it's my fault. I'm trying to fix it. Don't worry.
Typical.
Yeah. It is my fault, though.
So you just want me to keep talking? Just keep
Yeah,
clowning around?
I'll keep messing with things.
But yeah, so in the midst of us planning, how do we keep this community together and engaged and going? Because it's so strong and it's such a positive community that's been created out of this experience. We got news. I don't know that you would call it news. There was an article, little snippet going around that Josh Jamero said that something will
I'm
happen.
already eye rolling at this thing. Those three little
Yeah.
words at the end of his interview that everybody is losing their poodoo over.
You and I feel very much the same about it, and I think people did freak out because you want to hold on to hope that something is going to happen
Sure.
with Starcruiser, and you want the hope that if it does come back, that it's coming back as something even better than what's being left behind, right?
Yeah.
But what if it's not better? What if nothing happens? What if something will happen means something as simple as like Sammy walking around Galaxy's Edge?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't want, like, everybody, a lot of people say that, well, let's just make it a cheaper, simpler experience for everyone. And all I can think of is, yeah, you don't know. You don't know how good it was, because if you did, you wouldn't want that at all.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, it's a hard thing to just deal with. You know,
It is.
like a dumbed down experience would be terrible. Or repurpose it
It
as a
would.
hotel. It'd be a terrible hotel. Like any other use
I don't
for
like
it
any of
would just feel weak and sad.
That's how I feel. Like
It's
I'm gutted that it's ending, like truly. Like I loved it. Like I loved it so much.
Yeah.
But I've accepted that it's closing. It's time to move on, and just like to be strung along with like this false hope that it is going to be something else, or that something is going to come and replace it or be in that place. It's just like I don't even want to think that. I'd rather just close that chapter and let's move on, and let's, you know, turn this into something amazing that's happened to us and learn from it, and just like go out and have more great experiences.
Yeah.
So.
But it's really
the
happening.
News that wasn't.
As much as we want to like think it's not closing, it's closing. It's closing. September 30th, that's it. And so, yeah, I mean, that's it. But since the community's still there, and like you said, we've built this crazy, like, big community all focused on people who love Starcruiser, who love Galaxy's Edge. We've got, like, 11 different Facebook groups now that all focus on different aspects of it. Which, if you didn't know, and maybe you're catching the stream and you don't watch normally, galacticbound.com has a link to all of those groups. So whether it's lightsabers, droids, costuming, Starcruiser info, post-Starcruiser depression that you're dealing with, or we have a group set up just for our events that are coming up. We've got some stuff planned. We want to jump on the Life Day train. We've got a big announcement that you guys may have seen in the thumbnail that we've been talking about recently. There's going to be May the 4th. So there's still a lot of opportunity for the community to hang out and come together, even though Starcruiser's closing. So it's not all doom and gloom, which is the nice part, is that we have this community of people who are still passionate, who still want to dress up and play Star Wars and hang out in the coolest playgrounds that Disney's ever given us. So,
right.
With that,
and maybe eventually playgrounds that Disney hasn't given us. Maybe they're different playgrounds.
That's true. There might be other playgrounds coming that we have no idea yet. And yeah, I don't know. Like, so back to the Tomorrow thing. Like, in that interview, I know everyone's focusing on the last 3 words where he says something will happen. Can't hint anything yet, but something will happen. Again, that could mean literally anything. There's been I've heard from like 7 different people, oh, this is definitely happening. Oh, this completely different thing is definitely happening. Everybody's got a completely different story, and somebody that they know on the inside that told them. I'm like, well, that's kind of funny, because none of this jives.
None of it, yeah.
So at this point, I'm just like, okay, I'll believe anything when I get an official announcement, and that's it. Just because that's how it goes with this stuff. Of course, you're going to hear someone who knows someone who works there, it's just how it goes. It always happens with this kind of stuff. So my mindset is, I'll see it when I believe it. Till then, it's definitely closing. But they did hint at something, saying, like you're saying, new playgrounds. He did hint at, like, hey, we're going to take the feedback, we're going to take what we learned, and try to make something more commercially viable. It wasn't his exact words, but that's what he implied. And so that could mean anything, really. Just, to me, that says mass appeal, which means dumbed down. Unfortunately, you know, like, how do you reach more people? Part of the problem with Starcruiser is people didn't understand it. They marketed it poorly. People didn't understand what it was, and they still don't. People are like, "Oh, the hotel? It's closing." It's like, it's not a hotel. That's how I feel every time somebody calls it a hotel. I'm just like,
I know.
Oh, let me. I've made that very clear on my Instagram lately, by the way.
Yes, multiple times.
Oh, I've got more. The drafts folder is very angsty.
Oh man, you're going through a phase.
I am. It's my villain arc. Everybody's got one. Now's my time to shine.
I'm so glad to be here for this.
I know, right? So, new playgrounds might be coming, and so that's kind of a cool thing too, is like, if they introduce something new as Galactic Bound, as the communities that we've got, we have the room to pivot and jump in on that and kind of be at the front of it like we were with Starcruiser. Because when Starcruiser was coming out, like, that's, like we said, that's what brought us together.
That's literally how we met.
Yeah, because you were geeking out about Starcruiser info, and I was like, oh, I'm geeking out about this too. There's a travel agent. Let me, like, talk to someone who supposedly knows what they're talking about. Boy, was I in for a surprise. No.
How dare you? How dare you? I know a couple things now, okay? It worked.
But so, like, and part of like, even when we were talking before, like, months before Starcruiser opened, around the time when bookings first started, when we were, like, brainstorming a lot of this early stuff to get to where we are now, it was a lot of this talk of, like, okay, this is a new frontier, this is a new Star Wars thing. We can be kind of at the head of this community if we get in there, own it, and build it, and make sure to foster that community And so here we are. Unfortunately, the community did not last very long. Or the community's still here, but the project didn't last very long. We kind of had hopes it would last much longer, but it's not over. There's still so much more. Galaxy's Edge is a huge, huge part of my everyday existence. I'm surrounded by like everything Galaxy. I can't look anywhere in this room and not see something Galaxy's Edge somewhere. It is like very much the fiber of my being.
An Oga's coaster like within arm's reach.
I mean, I'm literally drinking out of a glass that used to be at Oga's with an Oga's label on it. There's droids behind me. Like, I live and breathe Galaxy's Edge, even though I'm not there like all the time. So there's that. There's going to be more new stuff, and I'm not, as much as I'm down about it, I'm still hopeful that there's going to be a lot more things to do. And one of them is a community we're going to talk about in a little bit, but I did want to talk about one of the events coming up sooner than that. So in November, November 17th to be exact, Star Wars Life Day is coming up. Now, I've gone to the last two at Disneyland because Batuu West, as everybody knows, does it better than anybody else. And so now that Starcruiser's gone, Sarah, you're gonna have to become a little more frequent West visitor.
I know. I was doing some booking over in the West today.
Yeah. So
but yes,
get ready.
It's happening.
It's fine. Just accept it. We do it better.
I will not go on record and say that.
Okay, so I do want to talk about Life Day, though. And so Life Day has been something that's been run it won't be run by us through Galactic Bound. We're kind of just piggybacking on everybody already being there, and we're like, well, let's just join in the fun and add a little bit more to it, kind of like a supplement to the already going on Life Day festivities.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
What's that?
It's a whole thing.
Oh, it is a whole thing. It's a whole huge community thing now. And so the first time we really celebrated it was 2021. And there was 2 days. They did a Life Day Observed, because Life Day fell on like a weekday and not everybody can make it out on a weekday. So they did 1 day to observe it on the weekend where more people could show up. And then they did the official November 17th. That is the official Life Day. It's the anniversary of when Star Wars Holiday Special came out. So it was a good gathering, decent amount of people. Sean, I want to say, I forget his last name. Sean Crosby, Obi-Sean. He's the one who organizes it. He prints out like sheets with Christmas carols, but with the words changed to be Star Wars-y. And he like puts out instructions on how to build your own Life Day orbs. And so in 2021, it was very much 100% fan-run community thing. No real recognition from Disney, other than I think a new food item or two and maybe a drink, and that was it. No real merch, none of that stuff on 2021. But there was enough of a gathering there that in 2022, Disney went all out. They gave us a bunch of new food. They were selling red robes with Life Day embroidered on them. They had Christmas ornaments. They were selling their own versions of the orbs. Like, they really, really went all out. And so, they might have had that in 2021, but I think it arrived late. I think that was a problem. They planned for it, but it didn't arrive till like a month later, and it was kind of awkward. So we're all like, oh, well, Life Day already passed. So they botched the 2021 rollout, but they did really good for us in 2022. And it seems like that momentum is growing and growing, and there's a lot of people hyped for 2023 Life Day. And so we want to get in on that too. Like, I'm going to go anyways, but if we can invite our communities to come with us and say, hey, this is something you should plan for. This is an official Star Wars holiday now. In fact, it's like the only real holiday I like celebrating anymore. Like, just real talk. It is. And so it's because everybody's there. Like, all our friends are there. Last year was so good because we were hanging out with, or you didn't get to go, but I got to go, and I was hanging out with a bunch of my friends. Everyone was there just having a good time, loving Star Wars, being goofy, wearing our red robes. It was the best day. It really was a holiday, but we were on Batuu, and it felt like a real holiday. It was the coolest thing, and I want more people to experience that. So we're going to be jumping in on that. Last year, I did a droid meetup on the same day. I'm planning on doing the same thing through Mubo's Droid Builders Club. Again, link for all these clubs are in the galacticbound.com link tree. So I'll be doing Batuu Bounty Hunt, so a lot of giveaways that kind of like find me, say the secret word, or I might have other kind of puzzles and games to come up with for you all to play. So join the Batuu Bounty Hunt group. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on that day. I'm friends with a lot of makers and creators who send me stuff, and they send me like, here's my cool craft I made, and I'm like, that's awesome, I love it, but I'm running out of room, so I need to pay that stuff forward and give a lot of that cool stuff to the community. So I'll have like kyber crystals, like all kinds of good stuff to give away. So that's a good reason to show up too. But it's just overall one of the coolest things that the community rallied around this fictitious holiday based on the weirdest part of Star Wars, the holiday special, and we totally made it a thing. And it's a real thing now. Yeah. And that's the power of what these communities can do. It's really just showing up and making an event a thing. And it's just, if we're passionate and we're into it and we organize, we can make something special. Which kind of brings me to our plans for March.
Yeah. Okay. So are we done talking about Life Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or yeah, well, I mean, tell us more about Life Day first before you want, like, what?
Yeah, so really quickly. So on Life Day, yes, there's programming that's already happening that's in the works. You did it last year. You went with our friends, and Steven and I sat at home and we were like, we don't want to miss this. And so I think by the end of the day on Life Day, we were like, okay, we're in, we're going next year. And as we've seen the shift with Starcruiser coming to a close and wanting to figure out what to do with this community, because it was so easy, right, on Starcruiser to go on a cruise and meet those people, and you're there and you're having these experiences together, that we're having to find new ways to do that. And Life Day's right there. It's already built in. And so it is Batuu West. It's Disneyland. So even for the East Coasters, if we can, let's trek out there and do a big group thing. So we do also have a booking form, I think. Dano, is it up there yet?
It is. I put it up on galacticbound.com. It's like the second link down. So you'll see it all.
So there's a booking form. So if you do want my help, if you want to support me, I am a travel agent, and so I can help you book. We have probably, I think we have like 4 suggested hotels for where you can stay, so that way the groups can get together. We're hoping to do hangouts at one of the bars in one of the hotels each night as well, just as a way to just get together, chill, talk about your day, kind of like you did on Starcruiser. It'll be like our own makeshift sublight lounge. So we'll be doing that. So if you do want help, I mean, if you want to go out and book it yourself, if you're local especially, go for it. But if you do want my help in just trying to navigate West, because West can be a little complicated. It's not all Disney
can be a little bit, not as much as East, but don't get me going on that.
They have Magic Band Plus at West too, I'm just saying.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Okay.
They do.
Okay. But yes, I'm absolutely down to help you book that, but we're going to be there. So it'll be fun. We're going to be celebrating the official Life Day, which is on November 17th.
It's a Friday this year. Friday, November 17th.
Yep. It's the Friday right before Thanksgiving. Yeah. There is an observed Life Day that also takes place on a weekend, and this year they chose November 12th, which is also Dapper Day for Disneyland. But we're going to be there celebrating big with the group on the 17th. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm on the fence. I might go for Dapper Day and like do a double dip and do 2 Life Days, but that's a lot. It's a lot of travel. There was a question here, Jacob Weller, saying, how much is it? It's however much a regular park ticket is. Like if you're a Magic Key holder, one of the days is available. I believe I think they're both available now for most of the keys for the days they picked. Don't quote me on that, but we'll put a link down to the Facebook event, or if you just go to Facebook and look up Life Day, there's an event already created for Life Day 2023, created by Sean Crosby, the guy who really organizes this stuff. This is his deal. We're kind of just piggybacking on it and showing up and inviting more people to come along. So it's definitely his thing. He has a whole schedule made up of things that are happening throughout the day, ways to celebrate. Last year, there was a scheduled time where characters even came out for us. We met down at the Resistance area, and Chewbacca came out, and they did like a little, him and Rey came out and did like a little thing and just kind of talked to us and addressed the crowd, and there was a big crowd. Chewbacca even grabbed my Life Day orb and like held it up to everybody. Like, it was a really, really cool moment, especially for me being like, oh my God, my Life Day dreams are all coming true right now. It was like the dorkiest but coolest moment. I loved every second of it. So as far as cost goes, though, it's just normal park ticket. There's no upcharge or anything like that. It's just get into the park however you can, and it's there. Disney will likely have new food, new drinks, new merch, and it'll just be a good time. There's lightsaber meetups. There's going to be a droid meetup that I'm putting together. Again, just random stuff throughout the day. Any of the giveaways, those are all free. You just got to be following me on socials, and whoever else decides to do them, because I'm sure we're going to have other people wanting to do their own Batuu bounty hunts and giveaways. So join the Facebook groups and figure out who's doing what on those days. And it's just the coolest day to be at Galaxy's Edge, really. That's what it boils down to. It is the coolest day to be visiting Galaxy's Edge. And we want to put it out to you guys now because it's going to fill up. It's going to get busy. And it's getting bigger and bigger every year, so it's going to get harder to get into. So we want to let you know months ahead, this is coming up. Be prepped, be ready, because you're not going to want to miss it. You're going to be like Sarah and Steven last year, having FOMO on the couch.
I sit there with my Life Day Snuggie, like multiple times a week. I'm like, I know. I have like my little lap blanket right now. And I'm like, I should have worn my Life Day one.
When it's cold in the winter, I slept in mine. Like I would sleep. It was my blanket, like regularly, my Life Day Snuggie.
When I wasn't feeling good yesterday, and I was like on the couch all day, I had the Life Day Snuggie on, like my arms in it, and then I had another blanket on top of me.
It's the best because you can be in a blanket but have your arms through, and you can still use your phone while your arms are like cut. It's really good. And someone was saying they're cozy. Showing up at the Disney outlets for like $13.
Oh really?
Yeah. So like if you have a smuggler, Disney. What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're at least in Florida. I think they were showing up there, or maybe California too. But they're like $13 now. I think I paid $50, and I was on the fence last year. I was like, I don't know if I'm paying $50 for that. Remember. And you know what happened? Kitra literally was like, Dano, are you gonna get one? I buckled. Like, yeah, I'll get one. That's all it took. Kitra was like, so I'm getting one. Are you getting one? I was like, okay, I'll go get a Life Day Snuggie. I like all morning was like, no, I'm not doing it. $50 is too much. And
I know. You thought it was $30 initially, because I remember you being like, there's no way I'm spending $30 on a Snuggie. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, okay. And next thing I know, you guys are on Instagram on your stories.
Yeah, all of us with our red Snuggies. It was so much fun, though. It was seriously so much fun. So, yeah, come out, hang out for Life Day. It's going to be the best thing ever. You won't regret it. It's the coolest day.
The best thing until March 1st. March 1st.
Yeah.
So, let's segue. That's a good segue, right? So, Life Day has become a holiday simply for the fact that the community made it so, right?
And it's just celebrating an anniversary.
Just celebrating an anniversary. So, why can't we celebrate the anniversary of Starcruiser opening?
I think it's a good idea.
Right. And
I mean,
what better way to celebrate?
What better way to like celebrate the Halcyon legacy? Like literally the Halcyon legacy.
The legacy. Yeah. And I mean, it was a space cruise, but we could go on a real cruise. So we announced yesterday that we are going to be sailing on the March 1st Disney Wish sailing to celebrate the Halcyon's anniversary, the legacy of the Halcyon. So we're going to make March 1st our thing now, and it's going to be a really fun time. I mean, it's a real cruise. This is a cruise that me and Steven and our family took just a few weeks ago, and so we were like, hey, we were already planning on going on this cruise. We're like, let's go on this cruise, let's see how it goes, and then maybe we could do a big group cruise. And that's where we're at now. Like, the timing worked out for this. You've got the Disney Wish, which has Hyperspace Lounge. It has the Kids Club, which has some really cool Star Wars stuff in it, which we're not all going to be able to go.
Yeah, as adults, I think we're only allowed there on like the first afternoon for a little bit, just to check it out.
It's just like the open house, So it's not like we're all going to be like crammed into the cargo hold.
No, but if we're smart about it, we can maybe like plan to take pictures real quick and be like, all right, let's get a group in there.
With you. Like staggered, please, not like
it would have to be staggered for sure.
Of adults.
Sorry, kids, we're taking over. This cargo hold belongs to us now. I'm the captain.
My bad, kids. But yeah, so we're gonna do that. The way that this one's gonna be going down is a little different than like Life Day, which is just buying a ticket to Disneyland and showing up, right? Like, so however you do it. If you're local and you have a Magic Key, or if you are traveling and you want to get a room and a ticket. This one is put on specifically by Galactic Bound, which is us.
Yeah.
It's like, it's us. We're Galactic Bound, surprise. And Carry On the Magic, which is the travel agency that I work for. So Carry On the Magic and Disney will have a contract for this group cruise. So anybody that books with Carry On the Magic through the forms that we're putting out there, they'll be on galacticbound.com, will get certain things that you wouldn't get if you're just going out and booking the cruise on your own. Those things include We're going to have like a reception, like a happy hour with an open bar, I believe. And
That's how they describe it.
Yeah, right. That's what, if I'm reading it right, we're having like a reception, and that's private to the group that books with Carry On the Magic. We'll also all be seated, I believe, at the same dining time and rotation. So on the Disney Wish, there's 3 restaurants that you cycle through. We'll all be together for dinner, is what I'm understanding.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Right? It's gonna be fun.
Because like part of one of the things I don't love about the Disney cruises is that a lot of times you might be grouped up with people you don't know at a large table, which is fine. Like once you understand that that's the expectation, but how much better is that going to be if most of us already kind of know each other, or we know each other through the groups? It's just going to be that much cooler to have it done that way.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because it's going to feel like walking into the Crown of Corellia where you go to dinner and you're like, oh, hey, I know all these people.
Yeah.
Because it was
like that was the beauty of the May 4th voyage, is knowing so many of the people who were there. And even if like maybe I hadn't spoken to them in person before, but like being able to put a face to the little circle we see on Facebook or whatever, like it was a lot of that coming together. And so being able to do that again in a similar setting, not in space, we're on the high seas this time, but still close enough. Right. Like I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it will be. It's gonna be really cool. And then we're also putting together some swag bags. So anybody that books in with our group is gonna get some cool swag. It's gonna be a really good time. We can't do Starcruiser anymore. It's a bummer, but we can all still get together. And being on a real cruise where they actually have a muster and a captain and a cruise director. I mean, we were on it and I just kept laughing the whole time. I was like, oh, that's the cruise director. That's not Lincoln Mock.
Yeah.
Literally, a photographer on our that was like going around taking pictures of people at dinner. His name was Sandro. I was like,
no. Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Was his last name Alamander?
I didn't ask. Oh, it's chicken. Yeah, so it'll be a good time. I mean, we'll all be there together. They do have Hyperspace Lounge. So here's a few things that we need to kind of go through, and wanted to use this as a session to answer any questions that we have. There's still a lot of things that are in flux with this cruise. Yeah. It's still early days, so can't answer everything, but we can answer a few things. And so just talking about like what the cruise is and also what the cruise isn't, because it's not Starcruiser.
Sorry, my dogs are angry. And
they
loud.
can't go on the cruise, right?
Yeah, they want to go.
So here's the deal with doing the Disney cruise and doing it on the Wish. We do have Hyperspace Lounge. And if you are bringing your kids along, because kids are absolutely welcome to come, they have the Kids Club, which has the cargo bay in it. Aside from that, there's not too much Star Wars stuff that happens naturally as part of the ship. We're booking a group cruise, but we can't, we're not going to be getting like extra Star Wars things as a result of doing this group cruise. So this is more about just going on a cruise together, having fun, and making our own fun. So we can do that, and we can inject Starcruiser in our own way, but we have to be careful about it, right? So I've had a lot of questions about like cosplay. Cosplay, I would say, and I need to confirm this, but probably is going to follow like park rules.
Yeah, I think that's standard. Guess. Just whatever the normal, I would say Disneyland park rules, not so much Disney World park rules.
Yeah,
is a safer
don't
bet.
Come up with like armor. I wouldn't do armor.
Yeah, armor's probably going to be a no-go.
Anything
too elaborate, probably not. But like
even
a straight up like Batu bounding kind of thing. Yeah, why not?
You think lightsabers would be okay? I don't know.
I think which one?
Lightsabers.
Say Life Day?
No.
Lightsabers.
Yeah.
I think that we need to clarify. We need to double check and clarify, because a lot of people are going to want to bring their lightsabers. They just will. And I like the idea of lightsabers. But part of the reason... Remember when Galaxy's Edge opened and there was all those articles saying, oh, you're not even allowed to carry your lightsaber around?
Yeah.
The reason that stuff happened and that was said at all, it was kind of a misinterpretation. They don't want people swinging lightsabers around in high traffic areas. That's how somebody gets hurt. Disney doesn't want to be liable for that. That's totally fair. And when sometimes even adults, not just kids, but sometimes when we get lightsabers in our hands and we see someone else with the lightsaber, I don't know about you, but I get the urge to, we're going to play a little bit. That's just, it's innate. It happens when it's in your hand. It just happens. You're going to want it. And so that's kind of why they would tell you early on at Galaxy's Edge, you need to hide that. They would be playful about it and say, you can't let the First Order see your lightsaber. You got to put it away. They'd find a fun in-world way to do it. But really at the heart of it, it was about safety. It's always about safety with any of their rules. And so they don't want people doing that. But now you can pretty much freely walk around Galaxy's Edge with the lightsaber out because it's not super packed and congested. People have adjusted and they figured, all right, everyone's been pretty safe with it. Now on the cruise, it can get a little congested in some areas. So that's something I think we will have to confirm and clarify with them as to whether or not that's allowed. I feel like it's 50-50. It might be allowed, but with that caveat of like, hey, you need to, like, everybody needs to understand, only in open areas where there's nobody else, only for photos, and that's it, kind of thing. Similar to Starcruiser. Right. They don't want you play fighting in the atrium. But if you need to take it out for a photo, yeah, absolutely. Like, I would assume, as far as lightsaber, Starcruiser rules are probably going to be exactly the same here, if they allow us to bring them. I do know their check-in process at the cruise is a little bit different. It's a little more stringent than it is at Starcruiser. So, again, one of those things we'll have to clarify and find out.
We'll confirm it. I would say for costuming, be careful. I would say stick to just the soft goods. Don't bring like hard armor. Don't bring your helmets, anything like that. But we will be confirming those things too.
Yeah.
And the beauty of the cruise is like we're all on the same ship. So even if we don't have like special Starcruiser programming going on, we can still pick an area of the ship or a bar to meet up at each night, or just like different things to do. Just go take over some tables and play some walk or whatever it is. Like,
can we make shuffleboard Star Wars-y?
Oh man,
I want to play shuffleboard.
Could you make it look like a lightsaber and you're just
that'd be so cool. I didn't get to play shuffleboard on my first and only cruise, and I kind of would like to. So the challenge is out there for anybody attending. Let's play shuffleboard, please.
That's all you're gonna do now is play shuffleboard the entire cruise.
It's gonna be me, drink in hand, shuffleboard in the other. It's gonna be great.
Okay, so that's costuming. The other thing is like, what actually is this cruise? So it is a 3-night cruise. It goes, it leaves on Friday, March 1st, and it will come back on Monday, March 4th. So it's a nice, like, long weekend. Like, you could fly in on a Thursday, and then you can fly back after your cruise on Monday, and you're not taking off, like, too much of the week, which is something we also wanted to be conscious of. It's, like, not tanking, like, an entire week for people. And it's going to, both full days that we are on the cruise ship are going to be port days. So the Saturday will be at Nassau, and then on Sunday it will be Disney's private island, which is Castaway Cay. And hopefully the weather suffices and it doesn't pour like it did on our cruise. We actually get to hang out on Castaway Cay.
Yeah, Castaway's a lot of fun. There's some cool stuff you can do there. When I went, we did like a little stingray like thing where they would cut, like, there's a little horseshoe thing in the water, like maybe a foot or two in, and they would come up and you could feed them and pet them, and they would just come up on this little horseshoe shaped thing, and like you could touch them and whatever. It was a really cool, like, excursion type experience. And then also I did a lot of the snorkeling. Like, I wouldn't think snorkeling would be my jam at all. I'm not a big water person, but I was out there for like hours. Like, seriously, I was out there for like 2 hours in the water, just floating and loving it, like face down, breathing through a tube, loving every second of it. And I was so shocked afterwards. I was like, I didn't think I would love that as much as I did. And they have like cool stuff you can find. You didn't get to do any of that, did you?
They like canceled all water activities that day because of the weather.
There's a sunken like submarine that you can like swim out to and find. There's like an old, the old Mickey telephone. It was like Mickey with the thing. There's one of those hidden down there. And you can like just swim in this huge, huge area and just kind of like find all this stuff. I loved it. I can't wait to do it again.
So it'll be fun. It's gonna be cool. There's been, like, that's the thing I think that surprised me the most is just like how willing this community is to come out and just play and just hang out together. We've gotten a big response from that so far, and so I'm excited because I think it's just it's gonna feel like Starcruiser, even though it's more Disney focused and we're doing Disney wish things. It's gonna be a good time. Shuffleborg.
Everybody with the shuffleporg. That's it. That's it. That is what it is now. Shuffleporg.
There we go. Shuffleborg.
See, as the community, we're already making things. It hasn't even happened yet, and we're already making things. Shuffleporg's a thing now. It's gonna happen. One way or another, Shuffleporg will be happening. Look at this. Everybody's in for Shuffleporg. Team Space Cats for Shuffleporg.
Oh man. Jeffrey in the comments did say, though, he said store-bought collapsible lightsabers may be brought on board, but guests cannot bring homemade lightsabers or ones that are built on Galaxy's Edge.
There you go.
So there you go. No lightsabers.
He had another question too, and I don't know if you'll know this yet, but I'm going to put it on screen. Are you aiming for late dining for the group, or do you even know or have considered that yet?
Yeah, so we're doing late dining for this one.
Okay. There you go.
We did early dining on our cruise in the beginning of the month, and it just made the whole evening feel like too rushed.
It was too early?
Yeah, and it seems like the consensus across like Starcruiser as well is that most people prefer the later dining, so we went with late dining for this one.
Gotcha. Here's a nice shameless plug from Galen. If you haven't used Sara before, let me just say she can keep secret surprises very well. Oh. Also, she's a great booking agent. Look at you.
See, I keep great secrets. I told you this yesterday. You didn't believe me. Galen knows I keep secrets.
Oh, okay. All right. Here's Katie was asking, are the dogs unhappy, or did the front door magically... Oh, guess what? It happened again today. The front door was open randomly today. But I figured it out. It was my son. He just doesn't know how to close the door. But I don't know why it glitched out yesterday and didn't tell me that it opened. I didn't tell you about this. Did I?
No, you didn't tell me about this.
I told the stream last night, but yesterday at 5 o'clock, I get a notification. We have one of those smart locks that'll tell you when the door opens and closes and whatnot. Yeah. And after 10 minutes of being unlocked, it auto locks. All of a sudden, I'm bouncing between the office and the kitchen, eating whatever, grazing, and everything's normal. And then all of a sudden, I look and I see the front doors open 6 inches. I'm like, that's weird. It was just me and my son Presley, who's been asleep on the couch all day. And I didn't open the door, and my other son, Nathan, had already gone to work 2 hours prior. And he took my car. So, nobody's here. So I opened the door, and there's an Amazon package there. And I'm like, oh, weird. Did the Amazon guy try to open the door? What's going on? And so the other part about the lock, since it auto-locks, it was locked. The deadbolt was sticking out. So it couldn't close. I'm like, well, that's really strange. I would have seen that earlier if it was like that. And also, why didn't the dogs bark? You guys just heard the dogs. They go crazy if someone's on the sidewalk. They hear everything within a mile radius and just lose it. Anytime somebody comes near the house behind that, whatever, you will hear them always. No barking, nothing. And the door was just open. And I'm like, this is real weird. So it happened again today. My wife, I was asleep on the couch, and my wife's like, hey, it shows the door open. We got a little thing saying, because when it's ajar, it'll tell you the door's been ajar for 2 minutes. Check it. It didn't give us that yesterday. That was the weirder part, is it didn't show any of that. It was really strange. But it happened again today, so my assumption is my son just doesn't know how to close the door. And yesterday was a weird glitch.
I don't know, man. That's like spirits or something, dude. That's not cool. Don't mess with that. Go burn some sage or something.
Oh, here's a question from Michaela. Might be too soon of a question, but might this become a yearly thing? Do we want to jinx it? we said that about May 4th. We're like, oh no, we're going to make this a yearly thing. May 4th on Starcruiser. It's going to be great. And what happened 2 weeks later?
The good thing is that it's Disney Cruise Line. Has been around for a while.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. The other thing is that I don't foresee the calendar changing anytime soon. So we're always going to have a March 1st. So aside from the second
there will always be
wave
some
of
way
the pandemic where
celebrate.
travel completely shuts down, there will be ways for us to celebrate.
And if that happens, we just need to get out of this game entirely. The world's trying to tell us something.
Yeah. I know, right? It's
hey, okay, guys, it wasn't meant to be, all right?
Yeah. Take a hint, please.
Yeah. Just stop.
So yes, so we will be doing something Do we say it? I mean, we'll say it. We're going to be doing something every March 1st to commemorate the
That's the
Halcyon
plan.
anniversary. That's the plan. The other plan is to continue to do these group trips throughout the year to celebrate different Star Wars holidays as well. So we've got Life Day 1st. We've got the Halcyon anniversary. We're going to do something for May 4th. We still have a few options on what we're doing for that one. So a few things up in the air. And then we also have Mos Eisley, which we haven't talked about in this stream. But that's something that we do that's kind of building its own community. That's like, it's like a Venn diagram, I would say. Like,
so we'll be able to mash the mosh, if you will, like with all of this stuff. It eventually, maybe not every time we do a big group trip through Galactic Bound, but there will be some where it works out that we can also throw a Mos Eisley at the same time and make it more of a destination thing to do, like more reason to come out and party with us.
Right. Yeah.
What a cool life we decided to lead.
I know, right? Like, we just up and decided, you know what? Let's just make our own Star Wars
just
holiday.
come Star Wars party with us, like, all throughout the year.
But we're cool enough to party with. But yeah, if you don't know Mos Eisley, I'm sure Dano has talked about it on his live streams plenty, but it is a mashup of an emo night and Star Wars cosplay. So if you grew up listening to emo and punk music in the early 2000s, it's like one of the best things you can do. Wish Eisley.
That's good. That's good.
Funny enough, there's an Emo's Not Dead cruise happening like right before.
The same dates that we're doing ours. And it's with Adam, right? It's both Adam and Ryan, right?
Adam and
it's
Ryan.
Yellow Card and Story of the Year. And, is it and Bayside or no?
No, Bayside's not.
I was saying, it'd be hilarious if it was like literally all three of them on a different cruise.
I know. We'd be like, bye, we're going
No,
this
that
way.
one's a West Coast cruise, right? Or is it East?
I don't know. No, Miami. I think it's Miami.
Oh, okay. So not far, but
not terrible.
Relatively.
But yeah. So yeah, that's happening. What else? Let's talk more about, you guys put your questions in the chat about the cruise.
Yeah. Throw your questions down. I'll try to find them and throw them up on screen.
Yeah. So we are going to do something annually. We're going to try the Wish this year. I think that's like an easy one. It's a short 3-night cruise. We'll see how it plays out. We have to be very careful. Like, don't break things, guys. Like, we want to come back, so let's make sure that we're good and on best behavior, and we don't get kicked off of the cruise ship, and then we have to leave halfway through it. Then we're going to, let's see what else. We talked about cosplay, the destinations we've talked about. It's going to be launching from Port Canaveral, which is about an hour and a half from... Steven was leaning over the desk here. It's about an hour and a half, I think, from Orlando.
Yeah, so it's about an hour and a half drive.
Yeah, so the other thing that we're going to do is probably hang out in Batu the night before the cruise. Because why not? We're all going to be in the area.
That's true.
Yeah, so let's just hang out. And then as it gets closer, what we'll also do is probably book out blocks of rooms at a couple different resorts. So that way everybody can all be together and just hang out the night before. And then it just makes it easier for like coordination and stuff. Obviously, if you want to go like stay somewhere really nice or you want to stay off-site or whatever, do what works for you. But we'll implement kind of a group element to the pre-cruise, if you will, too.
Yeah. So there's a question here. Oh, it just disappeared. Cruise sounds so much fun. How quick do these cruises fill up, and when do I need to commit? Do you have a time frame yet, or is it something that we're still going to have to post out in the groups once we know a little bit more?
We're going to have to post out in the groups. We're working right now, like full disclosure, we're working with Disney on the contract, and so I don't know how long that's going to take, but we do have an interest form out there. So if you are interested, that's the form that we're going to be using primarily to communicate. So I will be sending out emails when we get information as things are getting closer to the actual booking time. And it's very like, it's super easy to fill out the booking form. It's just like, what's your name? How many cabins? Like, what's the mix of people? And do you maybe want to stay at Disney before and after? And it's truly just to get interest so that we know how many cabins we need to go for to get this big group going. Once it gets closer to booking time, that's when we'll do a more detailed form where I'm going to need all the information. I'm going to need your government name, your birthday, like everybody's information. Are you a US citizen? All of the things that I'm going to need to pass along to Disney to get you booked, credit card information, like all of that. That all comes later. So if you're interested, you really think you're going to go on this, or at least you want to know more about it, fill out that interest form. It's low stakes. I don't have your credit card.
It's just an interest form. It doesn't mean you have to book or anything, but if you want info, you want to fill that form out so we know to contact you and at least give you the info when the time comes.
Yep, that's all it is. So yeah, that's it. Once we know more, I'm hoping that this gets going soon. I don't want it to drag on. I would love to like get us booked and get started so then we can start on the fun part, which is like the planning. And I already have people reaching out and wanting to do some really fun extras that are things that we can do that are not intrusive to the cruise at all. Because that's the other thing is we are going to be a group of people on a cruise with people that are not in our group and may not necessarily care about Star Wars or want to be like participate in the things that we're doing. So we don't want to be intrusive in any way to their vacation. This could be a vacation that they've saved up for and they just want to have a great little time on the Disney Wish. So the things that we're planning are things that are going to be kind of like how we did for the May 3rd voyage on Starcruiser, where they're like after hours or kind of out of the way, or just like things that aren't going to really like disrupt the flow of what the cruise is meant to be. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, we already have I've had people reach out and are like all about trying to make this a really, really fun, really Star Wars heavy without being officially Star Wars type thing. So that'll be fun. What else do we have?
So I got a couple questions I can throw up. Some you may or may not have answers for. But I do want to address, Marnie Marnes is saying creative Facebook page for March 2024. We actually have a whole group. It's a Ultimate Fan Events group. So we'll be posting details for all of these events there, as well as making an event like you're suggesting for all of them. We posted the Life Day event in there. Once we have a little bit more details on this March cruise, I'll make an event, but it'll live in that group. So if you want any information, again, galacticbound.com has links to all the groups, but it's the Ultimate Fan Events group is the one you're looking for, where we'll be posting all the details on this stuff. So that's for that. There's another one. Are you able to book international, or am I going to have to do it on my own if I decide to come? It's a good question.
That's a great question. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't know how it works with a group cruise, but I've never had any issues booking international clients before. So I don't see why it would be any different.
I remember Starcruiser was weird about it early on for you. Remember they wouldn't let you book international, but that was just Starcruiser, right? That was like a weird...
I don't know that it was necessarily Starcruiser. It's just that for international clients, you have to call in. You have to do things just like a little bit different. Like I can't help with trip insurance because you have to purchase trip insurance in the country that you're...
Gotcha. So there's weird little things that might hang up.
Yeah. And then it's just kind of strange just because the billing address is different on credit cards than what, like, you can't book Starcruiser online. But if I were to book a cruise online, it asks for an American address, billing address. So
gotcha.
you just have to call them in.
There's little things like that.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, just like
but something you could work through eventually. So I would say, Jordan, still fill out the form, the interest form, and we play it by ear and figure it out, right? Like we can just kind of... there's another question here from Galen. Do we need passports? I believe you do, right? To go to Castaway or NASA or whatever.
So officially, no, you do not need passports. You need a U.S. birth certificate. I would highly, highly, highly recommend having passports, though, because if anything were to happen to you and you don't get back on that ship, say you have a medical emergency. I mean, like we saw it with Kitra. Kitra broke her ankle. She made it back on the ship, but if something were to happen and you can't get back on that ship, then you are in a foreign country without a way to get home. And I mean, we're going to the Bahamas and we're going to Castaway Key, so it's a little easier. They call this a closed loop cruise in that you're leaving from the same, or you're leaving and arriving back in the same place, so it's one closed loop. So technically, you're okay. But we have it's June right now, March. We have 9 months. I would highly recommend if you are going to get a passport, start that process now because it is taking a really long time to get passports. And it just makes it so much easier. Like it was so easy with the passport. Just do it.
Here's a question from Zachary Laughlin. Anybody want to split a cabin? So that's something we haven't really talked about yet, but I mean, similar to what we're doing with Starcruiser, we have the crewmate community. I don't see why not. Like, why we couldn't help in the groups find a way to facilitate or at least bring people together to post, hey, I'm looking, hey, I'm available, kind of thing, like we're doing with that community. So Zachary, join the events group, and as we work out details on that, we'll figure out how the best way to help you guys come together and find each other to split cabins would be. But we're already doing it for Starcruiser. So, yeah. We'll find a way to hopefully put people together. I mean, I can't guarantee you're going to find someone who's available, but we can at least try to help on that end, right, with the groups.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, is I've just kind of been shepherding people to our big like event group.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. How disability friendly is the event? I mean, since it's the Disney cruise, Disney's always all about accessibility for everybody. They are one of the best companies about it, actually. You're not going to find like a better company that addresses accessibility better, like, honestly. So I would say, don't worry. That's what you pay for. Like, I will come out and say, I feel Disney's overpriced. I really do. But you also get really good customer service. And part of that is accessibility and having a lot of those things. Like, you don't have to worry about it. That's what you kind of pay extra for, is that extra level of comfort in knowing, and just like it's luxury. It is a luxury experience. It is not, it's not bottom of the barrel. It is a luxury higher end experience. So I wouldn't worry about accessibility. Someone with a disability, I'm pretty sure any concerns you have will likely be able to be addressed, no problem.
Yep, I would agree with that. They do have accessible friendly cabins, and specifically on the Wish, because remember when Kitra did break her ankle and then she went on the Disney Wish, they had an accessible cabin, and so you can watch their vlog from that and you can see what the cabin looks like. I don't know that she necessarily ever used a scooter or anything to get around on it. I can't recall, but
but there's elevators in the ship. There's ramps. There's if mobility is part of it, no problem. They've got you covered. They've actually thought of all of that, and they've got you covered. Because it's Disney. They see all types of people with all types of conditions and situations, and they've thought about that already. So especially on the newest ship, the Wish, which is going to be the most accessible of all of them because it's the most recently built. So I honestly wouldn't worry. And that's something that once you book, you'd be able to let them know, these are my concerns or these are my needs, and they'll be able to take care of all that for you.
Right. Yeah, we just put it on the booking and you're good.
Yeah. Marnie's saying, will I be able to put a deposit down and make payments like I did for her October cruise? Should be the same process, right?
It should be the same process. So this is a group cruise, so it's a little bit different, but we are going to be collecting the deposits upon booking. And then I'm assuming there's going to be a date that we have to pay it off by. So if you're wanting to make regular payments, I don't see why you can't. But all of those details will come. We'll have a lot more answers once we've got the contract in place. Like once it's fully finalized, then we'll be able to share all the fun payment stuff. And I know there was a question earlier about the pricing. I don't have official pricing yet for all of the breakdowns because there's a lot of variables when it comes to pricing. It's not as easy as Starcruiser, where it was like, you got 3 room types. What do you want? Starcruiser, a real cruise is a little bit different in that there are more cabin types. So let's walk through that for people that like the uninitiated for cruises, because I've gone on one whole cruise, so I am like a pro at this now. We're losing Dano. But so there's a handful of different cabin types. There is an inside cabin, which means that it is inside the ship. You do not have any windows. You do not have a balcony. That's going to be your lowest cost option. There's the way that the Wish is designed. There's really not that many inside cruise or cabins. They've designed it so that most of the cabins are at least ocean view, if not a balcony or a veranda. So you've got some inside cabins. Those are going to be your best option if you're looking to be budget friendly. Then you move up to ocean view, which means you've got a window that looks out into the ocean. those are going to be like your next level up, and then from there you bump up to a veranda, which is going to be a balcony. They've got different options for balconies in terms of like the size of it. They've got different cabins that can sleep 3 to 4, some can sleep 4 to 5. It just depends on the configuration. Now, if you think that Starcruiser cabins are tiny,
I was going to say, please watch videos about Disney cruises first, so you have an idea how big these rooms are.
they are not big.
They are efficient. I will say that. The rooms are efficient. They know how to cram.
They're incredibly efficient.
It's so efficient.
It's
but
very
it
efficient.
is small.
There's lots of storage. There's tons of storage, but they're very small. So if you do have like mobility issues and you do need like a larger cabin for accessibility, definitely request one of those rooms. Otherwise, it's a small cabin. So if you are looking to split a cabin, I would not recommend packing a cabin out with 5 adults, because there's no room.
Yeah,
like,
you will literally be sleeping like on top of each other. Like it's
like you could probably like 3. I would say probably 3 people, 3 adults that like you don't know each other.
Yeah. That's fair.
Because like our family of 4, it was like, me and Steven and our 2 kids, and so we were fine, but there would be times where it would be like, can you
when I went, it was
be in the corner.
The partner and 2 kids, and it was just like, wow, yeah, it was perfect for us, the 4. But any more than that, and I would have been like, oh no, this is. And we had a bigger veranda too. We had a veranda at the back of the ship, and so it was longer, just because of where it was placed. It didn't cost extra. It just happened to be placed at the back of the ship, so we got a longer veranda. Loved it. I almost wanted to sleep out there one of the nights, just because it was so cool just to see the stars and like the like epic darkness of it all. Like it was so cool. I loved it. I can't wait to go back.
It's not, the cruise ship really too. It's like, it was really, really beautiful. Like it is brand new. Everything is like nice and shiny and fresh. So
Nate's saying I put ocean view instead of veranda on the interest form. There'll be time to.
No worries.
Yeah, that's not a big deal right now. Don't
sweat that. So truly the interest form is to, 1, get a list going of whoever is interested in booking this, and then 2, just get kind of like a feel for. We had to put in a request for how many cabins we want and the different types of cabins that we want, but it was really just like a swag. So now that we have interest form, we can say, okay, or we have data, I guess. Now we can say, okay, here's what we need for this cruise, and then we'll get it. So don't sweat that too much. You're not locked in just based off what you put on an interest form. Space catfish.
Rick with the real questions there. Can I drink beer? Yes, sir. There are bars. And you might have missed earlier, booking through Sara, there's going to be like a reception specifically for our group. Yeah. At a bar. So, yeah.
Open
you can
bar.
You can drink. They've got really good cocktails. Actually, when I went, we registered as an extra thing. We paid for a cocktail mixing class where they taught like a group of 20 of us in their bar. They closed down the bar to everyone else. And I don't know if they offer this on the Wish. This was years ago on the Dream. But it was a like closed party cocktail mixing class. And they had us all mix these, like, they paired us into groups, and they would give us, all right, here's how you pour it. Just taught us a little bit about mixology, and we ended up making, like, I don't know, we had about 4 drinks each, and it was like $20. And we came out of there feeling good, and, like, it was just a fun time. It was, like, really cool. We all got to make stuff, because we would make big batches. Like, we'd be in groups. This group would make 1 drink, this group would make 1 drink, but we'd make a big batch for everybody. And so it was very cool. So yes, you can definitely get loaded, have a good time, but beware that they do not have a drink package like some cruises do. If you go to other branded cruises, you can usually do like a pay 1 fee and it's all you can drink. Disney does not offer that. The closest they have, I believe, is a mug at the bar. I don't know if they still do that. The mug you pay like $16 for, and you can refill it with beer for like $3. It was something like, don't quote me on those exact prices, because when I did it was 2017. It was a little while back. But they would sell you at the bar a Disney Cruise mug, and the refills were really cheap. And so that was a nice deal that they had. That was as close as they offered to a alcohol package back then.
Yeah, they had like a wine package, and I want to say they had a beer package, and I don't know if it was specific to dinner. Like, we didn't opt in for it because we were like, well, yeah, we're going to Hyperspace Lounge.
You can bring your own booze. Like if you
You
want to
can.
check in like a bottle, like say you have a favorite spirit, and you want to bring that with you, and just use like the free drinks as mixers, you can absolutely do that. Not looked weirdly upon. Like it is acceptable to check in.
Can you bring like alcohol or
Oh
just
yeah,
wine?
oh yeah. You can bring a cube of Coors Light if you want, and like you can bring it to Castaway Key even, and they'll be like, here, do you need a koozie? Like it's totally acceptable to do any of that stuff.
Oh, Mark brought up a good point. I have a 3-drink limit, so that's why I didn't learn too much about the wine or beer package.
Yeah,
I only
max
drink 3
3.
drinks.
Max 3, so you didn't know.
No more.
But they also do sell like for when you're going to like at Castaway. That was one of the cooler parts about Castaway. You're sitting there on the beach just lounging, kids are playing in the water. There are servers walking around with trays of drinks, and they'll be like, "Hi, dude, I've got, like a tray full of Mai Tais. Would you like one?" I'm like, "Okay, it's ready to go right in front of my face." Yes. They scan your Magic Band, charges to your room, and they make it so easy to drink, actually. Like, they make it really simple. They're like, it's ready to go. It's in your face. You know you want it. Here's a Bahama
there are
Mama.
bars.
Go to town.
There are bars everywhere.
Yeah,
They didn't do
so-
that when we were on Castaway Key because it was pouring rain, and so like everybody was like, you were either like in the water and miserable, or you were trying to like take cover somewhere because it was pouring.
Yeah. Sean M is saying, I don't think you can bring your own liquor anymore. So maybe we'll have to circle back on that, because when I did it was a few years back. So I don't know if that changed.
I
But
think
that
you
is
can bring
something
wine.
it's a high priority for me to look at too. So
We'll ask about liquor. We'll ask about lightsabers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can bring wine, and then there's like a corking fee
wine
for it.
for sure is acceptable. And I don't think they charge you a corking fee at dinner. Because like at some restaurants, like say you're having a, just regular in whatever town you're in, if you're going to a nicer restaurant and you want to bring your own bottle of wine for a special occasion, there's often like a uncorking fee. They'll charge you $20 or something for them to open it and pour it for you. You're bringing your own. It's a thing. They have a very similar thing on the cruise where if you want to have a specific kind of wine with dinner and you don't want to buy their wine, maybe you have one you prefer or like, you can bring that with you and tell your server to do that. And one thing you may not know if you've never done a Disney cruise is you have the same server, right? Did you guys have that? You have the same server every night. And so they kind of get to know your party, which is, it's neat.
Yeah.
It's a neat, like, customer service thing. And so you
was
get
great.
to know them.
Yeah, like our daughter decided like orange juice was her drink of choice on the first night, and so every night after that, when we went to dinner, they would bring orange juice out like automatically. Like we didn't have to
There you
ask
go.
for it. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like, all right, she just drinks orange juice all the time now, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I liked how that worked. Like I even remember our server. Like this is from 2017. So what are we talking? 6 years now. And I still
A
remember our
lot's
server's
changed
name.
in 6 years.
What's that?
I said a lot's changed in 6 years.
A lot has changed in 6 years. But like I still
cruising.
remember the server's name. And like it's one of those things. Like you just kind of remember these people because you are spending a lot of time with them in a way. Like you see them every night for like 3 or 4 nights. So.
Yeah, that's really cool. It was a fun experience. I mean, we did a whole recap on Princess and Scoundrel, me and Steven talking about our experience on the Disney Wish. It was our very first cruise. We did not plan for it, so we didn't know exactly what we were getting ourselves into, but it was a really great time. And I think like where we really wish we had done it better was having more people with us, like truly, because we were just sitting there like staring at each other like, I don't know what to do. Do you know what to do? And we just were inexperienced. So I think going with a larger group, there's always going to be something to do.
Allison's in here dropping the knowledge on us. Guests 21 and older may bring a max of 2 bottles of unopened wine or champagne or 6 beers. There you go. So maybe no hard alcohol anymore.
There you go.
That saddens my liver. But it's fine. It's fine. That's from the Disney Cruise Line website. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for pulling that up.
Allison.
Appreciate that.
Are there 3 drinks in a bottle of wine? I need to look that up.
I mean, there could be.
So the other thing, somebody mentioned it. Pete mentioned we want the rum. There's Pirate Night on the Disney Wish.
Yeah.
Why not Space Pirates?
I like Pirate Night. I thought it was kind of fun. We
Pirate was
enjoyed
cute.
some of it up top in the main area of the ship and saw some of the show because Disney characters come out and they're dressed like pirates and there's a big screen and it's a whole presentation. I mean, you're getting like a Disney Parks level show, right? Like you would some kind of nighttime spectacular at one of the parks. You're getting that, but on the ship. But we enjoyed that show, and then we went back to our veranda and we sat out back and watched the fireworks from there. It was so cool.
Oh, that's
Just
cool.
hearing that boom in the emptiness of like it felt like space. It really did feel like space to be in this
I
big
will tell you,
dark
you're
ocean.
giving terrible cruise advice. Like they tell you, do not go on your veranda when the fireworks are happening.
Really? Oh my! I loved it. I loved it so much. That's like one of the best memories I have from the cruise was being out there and just like hearing that pop and seeing it. Now most verandas no. That's probably why, because most verandas will not have a good view. But if you have a back one like we did, we were underneath the fireworks. So like there's only a couple at the back of the ship that probably have a good view, and that's why they tell you don't do it, because I'm sure...
No. They tell you don't do it because there's fire falling from the sky.
Oh, it's fine.
Like they tell you,
It'll
like
just
if you have
burn for a
anything
little
in your
bit. It's
veranda,
fine.
bring it in. Oh my God. Please
Merely a
don't look
flesh
through
wound.
Dano. Look through me. I will I will steer you in the right direction.
Look, if you want to have
bring
fun
all the
though,
brews.
I'll tell you all where
Bring
my
your
room's at.
lightsabers. Oh my God.
There'll be space cats. It's going to be a good time.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. So yes, we will do Pirates. There is Pirates Night on the 3-day cruise. That was a question that was asked.
Yeah.
And then there will be the what's it called? Your 3 dinings. So you're going to alternate between the Marvel dining experience, the Arendelle or Frozen dining experience. It's not a frozen dinner. It is Arendelle. And 1923, which is like a classic steakhouse. All of them were really great. So 2 of them, the Marvel and the Arendelle one, are dinner shows, and then the 1923 is just truly just like a classic steakhouse meal. And then if you want, there are upgradable options that are adult only.
Do they have like a fancier restaurant you can just pay for if you want to do that instead of one of your dinners? I know some of the other ships have had that, like Palo kind of thing.
They have Palo and they have Enchante, which is like a Beauty and the Beast themed.
Okay, so there are
restaurant. So they have
upgrades you can opt into if you want to pay extra for, if that's your thing.
Yep.
That's cool. But otherwise, and people may not realize this, the food is all included.
All of it.
That's all included, like similar to Starcruiser. All your food is included. And there's also a buffet regularly, right? Like if you don't want to go to fancy dinner each night, you can just go to the buffet. They have stuff there. Or at least that's how it was when I went. Was that an option when you guys went?
I think it was. We opted to do the dining.
Yeah. I mean, it's really good dining, so you should do that. But if you're just like, no, I'm done for the night. I just want to go grab a plate and take it to my room. You can do that.
The quick service. Well, you can get room services included too.
Oh my God, the room. My son went ham on the room service. We would come back into the room and find and at the time he was probably like 11. Yeah, he was 11, and so we would come back to the room and find like stacks of plates of wings. And we'd be like, what? And he'd be like, oh yeah, I saw you could order room service, so I ordered some wings. And there'd be like 5 plates of like wings. I'm like, dude, how many wings did this little 11-year-old boy eat? And there'd be like a whole plate of cookies too.
You can get like Mickey bars delivered too.
Yeah,
but it was really
you can just
cool
call
too,
the phone and be like, no, I want this, and it's included. It's all included. And so you do tip. You can tip at the end. They give you like a little envelope. Do they still do that? The envelopes to tip specific people, or
they do, but then you can also do prepaid gratuities as well.
Yeah.
And so they just like divvy it out for you, and they still give you the envelope to like to give or to like leave there to give out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. But
yeah, room services.
They have this little they have a menu that you can put, like you fill out and you put it on your door the night before for breakfast.
Yeah, and then it's ready for you in the morning at the time you choose.
Yeah,
you just like leave it on the door.
So
They're like, okay,
getting
you're
ready.
gonna get all these plates, and you're like, you can just go out your door. Oh, it's here, and you've got breakfast ready and waiting for you. It's actually really, really cool. I forget all these little things about the cruise. It was like, oh, that's kind of a neat. I wish I could do that everywhere.
Jeffrey said that the buffet is not open on the Disney Wish for dinner. You'd need room service.
Oh,
Not sure
okay.
if quick place So there's like the buffet, which is called Marceline Market.
Okay.
And that's like a true buffet where they've got different stations you go to. But then there's like the quick service locations that is, I think it's called Mickey's Festival of Friends.
Do they have the
Festival
unlimited
of
ice
Food.
cream?
They do have unlimited
I've
ice
got
cream. It's
priorities
served
here.
for you.
You can just like soft serve anytime you want, right?
Yeah. Well, you can't do it. They serve it for you now.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, fair enough.
But yeah, so they've got like a little burger place, a little like taco place, pizza. The barbecue was amazing. It was really good. The food is great. Like, even though we were just like completely out of our element and like really thrown on our cruise, like looking back on it, it was so much fun, and I'm very, very much looking forward to just being in one place where there's just alcohol and food and ice cream all the time, and then people that we love to be around. Like, it's gonna be great.
It's the dream.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I mean, technically it's the wish,
it gives
but still.
me to look forward to too, like especially with the Starcruiser news and just like how everything's going down with Starcruiser, where like it's sold out, and trying to get through with like cancellations and trying to get people on the ship. Like, it's been honestly like a bummer of a month. And it's gonna continue to be like this until Starcruiser ends.
Yeah.
At the end of September. So we wanted to do this, and we wanted to announce it now because we wanted to give people something to look forward to. Tiny tacos.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of titties in here too. So we have an idea for stay tuned on the 10.
It is a weight gain trip.
Yeah. Pack a lot of
just be ready for that. It is.
It is. It'll be fun.
It's fun though. But I mean, you're literally just like indulging for like 3 or 4 days straight.
It feels like that's the only thing to do at times, is to like eat and drink.
Well, so that's like, what's kind of cool about us all hanging out as a community, though, is we can organize things that aren't just eating and drinking. Though I will be doing plenty of the latter.
And shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard.
Sorry.
Shuffleboard. Yes, you're right. Shuffleboard. So, yeah. You'll know where to find me.
Shirts with like the blue banthas and like
teams.
What is it? The red Rathars.
Red Rathars, white wampas, gold Minox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be awesome. Roll up in teams.
That would be amazing. Cool. Are there any other questions though that people have about the cruise? I pulled up.
Yeah, and if you think of something later, you can always post it in the group.
Yeah.
Again, galacticbound.com, just to keep beating that drum. That's where you find links to all it's literally just a link tree with a link to, I think right now the order is the Disney Wish Cruise interest form, the Life Day booking interest form, and then afterwards is all of our different Facebook groups that we've got set up, focused on the different aspects of Starcruiser and Galaxy's Edge. So feel free to join all of them. As long as you answer the questions, agree to the rules, we'll approve you. It might take me a little while because there are many requests every day, constantly throughout the day. Those groups are growing so well. I'm really happy with the growth of the groups, and they're literally just multiple requests every single day, all hours. Like, I'm up 3 a.m. sometimes, and I'm still seeing like new requests popping through all the time. So join those groups, join the ones that interest you, or join them all, whatever. But we're organizing them mostly through the Ultimate Fan Events group. That's where you see a lot of the details about these trips that we're planning. And yeah, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
So if you don't get your question answered now, feel free to drop it over there, and we'll do what we can to get you an answer as soon as we know.
Yep. And just to recap, so for the Wish Cruise, right now it's just an interest form. There is no need to sign up for the interest form, but there's no commitment at this point. If you do want to go do Life Day with us over in Disneyland, that is a booking form. So that is you putting your stuff in saying, please go quote me for this trip in these days, and then I can get you booked. Like that, I can get you booked now on. The Wish, we have to wait until we've got contracts, just because we're doing it in a group setting so that we can get that special reception for the group and make sure that we're all seated together for dinings.
Yeah. There was one more question came through. Sorry if you covered this already, but it looks like Disney Wish Star Wars Cargo Bay is just for kids. Is this the only other Star Wars thing on board Hyperspace Lounge? How much interaction here? So, I mean, that is kind of it as far as Star Wars-y specific stuff. And the Cargo Bay is for kids. There's an open house. It's only on the first day, right, for a couple hours. where anybody
Yeah.
can go visit it and take a look. Otherwise, no, not a ton of Star Wars stuff. So we are going to have to bring our own fun in that aspect within the Disney Cruise guidelines and rules that they have. So that's why we're talking about, the group's already coming up with fun things. Shuffleporg came up tonight, and that's going to be a thing. There's things we can do to make it Star Warsy and celebrate it on our own, even though Disney's they're not officially Star Warsing it or sanctioning it for us. We can kind of do our own thing, and that's the point of this, is to show up as a community and make it a thing similar to what happened with Life Day. That's a community event that now is a thing, and now Disney recognizes. And so it really just takes us organizing, showing up, being passionate about these projects, like Starcruiser in this case, and celebrating it and coming together as a community and doing it to make it eventually maybe recognized by Disney. Maybe one day they will show up and offer something. We don't know. But the only way to get there is to do this stuff regularly and show them that there is a passionate community that cares about this stuff. And even though Starcruiser is closing, we all still love it, and we want to preserve its memory.
Yep. And do the best we can.
Yeah.
And I mean, with this community, it's going to be great. Like, the community's not going anywhere. You and I aren't going anywhere. I know we joke that we can't be friends anymore because we were only friends because of Starcruiser. But that's why we're stringing this whole thing along, so we can stay friends.
Exactly. Yeah. So the unofficial costume, red carpet for... I mean, maybe we find a nice section of the ship and we do our own red carpet. Like, why not? Why not?
Yeah,
as long as we're not intrusive to other regular guests, that's the key. As long as we're not intrusive to anybody else, why not?
Yeah, let's not do anything that's going to get us kicked out. Let's not go wild. But let's definitely bring our own fun to it and make this something that is not just another Disney Wish cruise for the group that's going to be there, but just...
Guy's fan club. Then we have an album listening.
I'm down. I'm always down to listen to Gaia.
It's so good. Oh, it's so good. Like, just don't even get me started. I've had a few, so I'm already feeling like I just want to listen to Rockstar.
Are you gonna cry?
Now. What's up?
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna cry for a second.
Oh, no. It's just the fan, the air in my eyes.
Right? Yeah.
It's making a little sweaty with respect,
Cutting onions in there. Yes. Sweaty respect. It's gotten weird.
A one-way out chant. Yeah, we could do a one-way out chant. Well, maybe depending on how that goes. We don't want to run through like rooms, and
Yeah, I would be careful on that one.
Yeah.
We were a little, I don't know. It felt a little more like incubated and safe doing that on the Halcyon. I think if we're like a group of people running throughout like a huge cruise ship, nobody understands what we're doing. Like, I would probably not recommend doing that. But if you want to like show up and walk around in your Narkina 5,
maybe outside. I mean, you could totally do that outside, actually. Just outside, not inside, but outside up top. Yeah. So you had your kids with you, so you probably didn't wander around late at night, as I am apt to do on all of my adventures.
Are there cats on this ship?
There might be. I don't know. But so when I went on my cruise, we stayed up to we were the last ones out. As again, like I'm always apt to do. I will always be the last one out, hanging out on any trip, middle of the night, out just seeing what's going on. And so wandering the ship at night, in the middle of the night, like up all the common areas, all of it, just wandering around, it was so much fun. Like, I love that. I live for that. That is where I am at home. Is just where nobody's around in the middle of the night in empty, weird public spaces. It's a very strange thing I'm into, but
good to know. Yeah. I will be sleeping.
Yeah, I will be out and about wandering the ship. So if you want to do it late, you're not going to bother anybody if you're up top. There's no rooms nearby.
It's true. It's a good point.
And so maybe that's if we have to do a late night lightsaber photo on the deck, there's possibility for that, because it is.
If we can bring lightsabers, there's very
if we can bring
what
lightsabers.
You can bring though.
If.
Yep.
Or even a costume photo or something. No, so I'm curious on the Wish. Did they have a water roller coaster thing?
They have. It's called the Aqua Mouse.
Aqua Mouse. Okay, so yeah, the Dream had the Aqua Duck.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, like, you get in the tube and it launches you and you go throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, we didn't get to do it on our cruise, and I want to do it.
Oh no, it's fun. I love those.
Screens and like a story too. Like it's supposed to be like a full on like attraction.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't get to do it.
Yeah, those are cool. Like there's rides, guys. There's food. There's there's entertainment. There's a movie theater. You can watch movies. There's like Broadway style shows.
The shows are fantastic.
Yeah, I'm still
Like everything there. Everything was great. The Hyperspace Lounge, it is no sublight lounge. I will tell you that. There is no like cool
just
box
be
table in
mentally
the middle. Yeah. But the drinks, all of the drinks that we had were delicious. And the presentation's really fun. And then you've got the big screen. And so if you stick around long enough, you'll see the Halcyon go by.
We can all cheer and go crazy, and everybody will be like, "What's going on?
What are these weird people doing?"
Why did everybody in the Hyperspace Lounge go nuts?"
But yeah, so there's gonna be things to do. We're gonna make it a great event. It's in the works. Like it's finally like we can talk about it because we've been
real thing.
Working on this.
We're doing this. We're making it like I don't want to say like I'm surprised at the interest, but I am very pleased with the amount of people who have already filled out the form. It has far exceeded what we were thinking initially. And so with that, I do want to mention that it's like it's only been a day and a couple hours since we've announced it, and we're like at least three times more than the response we initially thought we would need. Like, that said, this might end up being one of those things that does sell out. I don't know if we can say that or even want to say that yet, but there's a chance with the amount of people interested that we've seen so far that you may not be able to book this with us because the rooms fill up. It's a possibility. We don't know fully yet.
Like, don't like. This is not like a limited time offer, only a select quantity. But this is a ship or a sailing that's been on sale, if you will.
It's been available to the public for a little while now.
Yeah. And so we're coming in and we're saying we want to make this a thing because of the date that it's on and all of that. Now, I would not recommend going and trying to just go out and book a cabin on this. You can, but you're going to miss out on some of the things that are making it special of being in the group.
Part of our group.
But based off of the interest that we're getting, we're going to accommodate as many people as we can. But yeah, it's the interest that we've seen so far in this is just like absolutely amazing. Like the Starcruiser community will never not surprise me. It's the best community out there, and I'm just so grateful to be a small part of it.
Yeah, we're going to preserve every aspect of that we can. Like I am committed to making sure we're at the head of preserving the Starcruiser community as best as possible. Like it's been our thing since before Starcruiser, and when Starcruiser's gone, we're gonna do our best to make sure it lives as long as it can in some form. Truly like the best fan group for Star Wars that's ever existed. Like everybody is so positive and supportive and kind, and it's wonderful. Like as soon as we announced it, people are already reaching out and saying, "Hey, here's my ideas for this. Hey, how can I help?" Yeah, there's already people hitting us up and saying, "Here, how can I help? How can I help make this a cooler event?" It's wild. That's amazing. Yeah. All the sabacc, so cool. Bring your sabacc decks. We can play sabacc. There's tables and stuff. Like we can hang out and play sabacc and bring your Halcyon card. Exactly. You're already on top of it. That's the beauty of this whole community and all of you guys is that you're the sure we're the faces right now talking, but it's not us. It's literally everybody else. It's literally everybody else showing up and all the crazy ideas they come up with that are amazing. So it's going to be a good time. We're just two loud people in the community, but this community is like thousands and thousands of people that just really love Star Wars and really love playing and supporting each other. Yeah. We just happen to be really loud on the internet. Suckers. Hope you're not sick of us yet. Sweat. Respect Sweat. There you go. All right, you think that's a good spot to end it? You think we're good? I think so. I think this was great. Thanks for having me on. I know you kind of banned me from your channel for like months and months. And so finally, right? It's nice to be back. We recorded a video. When was the in March.
And it sucked.
Okay, it was not good. It was not good. I won't even share bloopers. It was just boring. So that video never came out.
It was not good.
Otherwise, it's been like a year.
No, it hasn't.
It had. Okay, so maybe not a full year, because we did the Thank the Maker live stream. I also live streamed it here. And that was January.
I like snuck in on that one. Yeah.
No, like the end of year recap thing for 2022.
Yeah, but like I snuck in on that one. Like just me and you on a video.
Oh. It's been a long time.
Thought we were friends.
Which is weird, because I feel like we still just talk every day anyways, but as far as channel goes, it's, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's weird to think about. It's been like a year.
Wow.
It was a post-Mosh thing, maybe. If that. Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
All right. Friendos, do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button before we end this thing. This has been a good talk. Check out galacticbound.com for all of the groups. The Ultimate Fan Event group is where we're going to be announcing a lot of this stuff. Go there, or fill out the 2 forms at the top of galacticbound.com. One for Life Day if you're interested in that. One of the first fan events that became a thing. And then check out the other link for the Starcruiser Wish March 1st, 2024. Let's make that a thing too.
Do the name. Say the name for it.
Oh, was it Wish Upon a Starcruiser?
Yeah.
That's right?
Cheesy.
Isn't that don't you love it? Don't you love that?
Perfect.
You want, like, I showed the image last night. I don't know which one I like more. I don't know if I like When You Wish Upon a Starcruiser or just Wish Upon a Starcruiser. But there's When You Wish Upon a Starcruiser. Yeah, we should make goofy shirts.
Corny.
But I made a different one that was just Wish Upon a Starcruiser. And so I don't know which one I like more. I don't know how you feel about that.
They're both really cheesy. Like, super cheesy.
But it looks good on a blue shirt. It looks good on a blue shirt.
And you love blue shirts.
I just got the weirdest text, and I'm going to share it with you all. Mike Forrester, Hondo Supply, sent me a text right now that says, watch, let me pull it up. What does it say? Watch Jurassic World Dominion with me. Oh, wait, there's no link there. What is Mike doing?
Wait, but he just texted the group.
Did he? Okay. I'm like, wait, what?
What is Mike on? Mike's
don't know.
Miking.
I mean, I'm totally down to watch Jurassic World Dominion with you, Mike. That was the weirdest thing. There you go. Blue shirt crew. All right, friends. I'm going to end the stream. Any last thing, Sarah? Anything else you want to plug? StarCruiserBooking.com.
Don't you dare.
Too soon? No.
I'm good. I think this whole thing has been a plug. I think we are good.
Yeah. Why not? That's just what it is. All right, guys. I'm ending the stream. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time. You know what? It's late. It's 8:40, 10:40 your time. So it's good night, but not goodbye. See you later.